Hi, listeners, this is Tanu Sharma, and I welcome you to my podcast called I'm All Ears. This initiative is to bring to you some stories that will give you the courage to push life challenges and overcome obstacles. These stories are of the people who decided to stand against all odds and speak up. This series of podcasts will cover several topics that we shy away to speak about. In today's podcast, I will be covering the topic bullying. Through this podcast, I'm going to hear out my listener stories. Doesn't matter if it is simple or complicated. If your story has a message and can help others in coming out of their tough times that can bring a change, then I'm all ears. An initiative by you for you. Have you ever bullied or been bullied? If you have bullied or been bullied, then you should know how bullying feels like. Bullying is a very negative way to express your emotions towards someone. Nothing good comes out of bullying. It could change or ruin a person's life. In fact, it does ruin many people's lives. Kids can be mentally scarred if they are teased often. Bullying must be stopped or prevented, no matter how long it will take. It is a deeply concerning matter. I have been the victim of bullying. Do I know the reason behind it? No. I probably never will. Honestly, rarely does someone know the reason behind him being bullied. I was bullied and it affected my life in a way that I couldn't trust anyone for a long time. The thing with bullying is that you at one point get used to it and your brain doesn't detect that it is wrong. When you are finally free, it strikes you because then for the first time, you let yourself feel the pain that you suppressed for years. Let your emotions out and give yourself the right to feel broken. It wasn't too different in my case. It took me some time to feel good about myself again. And finally, I left that part of my life behind me. I'm lucky that I had my parents' support because without them, I doubt that I would be what I am today. My today's guest is Meredith O'Connor. She's a pop star, model, actress, and anti-bullying activist, and international spokesperson on mental health awareness. Her hit song Celebrity went viral on YouTube in 2013 with more than 2 million views. She was being featured on Radio Disney, Teen Nick. I welcome you to my podcast. Thank you for joining me in today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the work you're doing.
So Meredith, people know you as anti-bullying activist, but they don't know about your mental turmoil you have been through. You were bullied for your height, hair, and for being different. But now, through your songs and work, you're trying to bring the change to make the world a better place. Let's just go back in the time. Why don't you share your bullying experience at school?
I was made fun of for looking different than people. I was a little bit taller. And, at a time when I was 13 in middle school, I actually, I didn't like the way I looked. I thought the kids were right. And, I was really fortunate to have opportunities to learn that, they weren't right. It's okay to be different. And you don't have to be defined by things that people say to you at a young age, even though that it's really easy to. So I sort of, once I had the chance to have a platform and be on TV and be, have fans and stuff like that, that was sort of when I was like, this is such an important message because I don't want anyone to feel that way because I know how it feels. And trust me, it was really scary.
Yeah, I totally get that. What I have observed is that most bullies try to read the emotional responses of their victims, and then they have to plan when and how to hit a nerve and get the desired reaction. I have been a victim of that too. I remember that it took me a long time to understand that person was just trying to get my reaction so that he could feel more powerful. But that was a lesson for me. And now let's just shift our focus to when your song Celebrity went viral. How did things change for you?
I think so. Like after the song Celebrity went viral, it was really weird because I was just so embarrassed about the fact that I was bullied in the first place at first, I realized that, now I went from like kids making fun of me to, I was then invited to all these parties. I was recognized in the street from the song, and people would like want to take pictures with me. And it was cool. I was like, it was like a little local celebrity, and it was really different than life before the song went viral. So it kind of hit me when I realized that, this is my chance to be the role model that I wish that I had growing up, because I had always looked to representation on TV and on the radio that maybe also had ADHD or OCD or got bullied, and I couldn't find anyone like me in that regard. And so I sort of thought, like, what if I'm that person for somebody? And what I didn't know is, I thought maybe some people might respond and say, this is really cool, and that would be that. But I had no idea how many people were also going through it until I talked about it.
A lot of kids, due to bullying, build low self-esteem. They are unable to accept themselves for who they are and how they are. So after facing so much as a kid, when and how did you decide to channelize your energy into songwriting and making music?
I think that was so important, because before I was signed and before I even got, before I was even modeling, before any of that happened, before any record labels or anything like that, I felt really afraid. I felt really empowered, right? Like, because I had one thing that I was good at, right? I felt afraid in school. I was not good at taking, tests or remembering facts of, it was hard. School was hard, and I was getting bullied, and I knew I was different. And, I just felt like there was this one place I could go, this community theater place that I was talented, right, and good. And like, I went there, and on stage, it was good to be different. And this was a lesson I learned like early on. So because I got involved in musical theater at the age of 7 or 8, that was I don't say this lightly, that was a lifesaver for me, because that was the first experience I had in learning that I am good at something. And that got me through so many dark times.
Definitely. I feel it's very important to be emotionally aware, recognize and accept your feelings as they happen. It really helps us in dealing with such situations. Getting back to the topic, children and young people who are bullied over the time are likely to experience depression, anxiety and low self-esteem. They are also most likely to be lonely and want to avoid school. It takes years for people to come out of this, and some of them suffer till the end. As you are a mental health advocate, what do you suggest is the best way to prevent bullying in early childhood?
Really good question. I think, it's hard for people who are getting bullied. I find it harder to focus on what the bullies are doing, and more important to focus on how they can protect themselves emotionally. I think if you're a parent, you have a great opportunity to educate your kids on like how to be nice to each other and how to like include each other, and empathy is taught at like a really young age and stuff like that. Making sure people are calm and happy and all those kinds of things can prevent the bullying itself. But in terms of like my advocacy as a mental health advocate and as a singer and everything like that, I find the kids who are getting bullied, even if preparing them in a way, or giving tools and advocating for them in a way where even if they do face bullying in life, they will still love themselves and they will be okay. Because it's such a vulnerable time to get bullied when you're young. And I think that those tools are really important.
We say that love and kindness can change people, but do you think that is possible with bullies? When do you think it is the right time to draw a line and say, that's it, I'm not going to take this anymore. Stop right there.
I think I think something like that could depend definitely on what's going on. I mean, I think when it comes down to forgiveness and and just accepting other people for who they are, and being forgiving of people maybe making a mistake or having saying something by accident, or somebody that really is putting in the effort and is trying to respect you and honor you. I think that might be I find forgiveness is always a really good way to encourage love and spread love, and it gives people a chance to just, be their best selves. And then on the other hand, I think also loving and respecting yourself is important, especially for kids that may not otherwise. So believing you deserve to be treated well is important for someone who may be getting bullied by a lot of people at school.
Meredith, I would like to congratulate you on your project. You are not alone. I must say, it is such a great initiative. I heard the song and could really feel the lyrics. Tell us a little about how the You're Not Alone project came to your mind. What are your upcoming projects that you're working on?
You Are Not Alone came to my mind actually the idea popped into my head. It was my first world tour, and it was planted as soon as I realized, as soon as the hundreds of thousands of messages and letters started to come in saying, I feel alone and I went through this too. It was this realization that all these years of isolation that I felt and that these other kids are feeling, it was this realization that we may feel isolated at times, but these experiences are shared, and there is reason to have hope. And there's so many examples of people who also, a lot of my friends who are also in the music industry and actors and stuff, before they were famous, were bullied. And these stories, these people a lot of these kids don't realize that it gets better. I certainly didn't realize that either. So I think that, sending a message out that there are others who have overcome it, is something that really was something I wish I had growing up. And I wanted that to be a campaign for many, many years, as soon as I had this platform. And I think it was the fans that inspired it, to answer your question. It was just it was the meet and greets, it was the letters, it was the messages. It was sort of wow, you guys are all sharing such powerful stories, and I want you to know that none of you are alone, because this is happening all over the world, literally. So I wanted to create a movement that would connect people from around the world, and we did that by finding celebrities who represented different parts of the world in their own way, and had fan bases from Romania, India, Nigeria, Ghana, South Korea. I mean, we had some of the biggest stars in Afropop join this campaign, and I mean, just places from all over the world. We got together digitally in our own studios in our own parts of the world, and sang this song. And so I think that was sort of the inspiration behind it. And of course, the National Alliance on Mental Illness was great in the work they do, so we wanted to use the opportunity to raise funds for them.
At the end, I have one request. Please, can you sing few lines for us?
You are not alone. You think you gotta bear it all on your own. You are not alone. Once you break the silence, you're gonna know. You look at me and think I never understand, but I've been where you are to get to what I am. You could build a castle with the stones they throw. Survivors become heroes. You are not alone.
Meredith, thank you so much for joining me today. Keep shining, keep inspiring people. Thank you again.